Oh, thanks, Speaker. It's always a pleasure to rise in the House. And tonight, debate Bill 17, the government's housing bill. And I'm going to present my comments tonight in the spirit of working across party lines to encourage the government to improve this bill. And the reason I think it's so important to improve this bill is, Speaker, we're in the worst housing crisis this province has ever faced. Housing starts are at an all-time low. Housing prices are at an all-time high. A whole generation of young people are wondering if they'll ever be able to afford a home. There is no city in Ontario where a minimum wage worker can afford average monthly rent, and we have an outstanding number, over 81,000 people experiencing homelessness in this province. And so I would argue that while this bill makes some improvements, it doesn't meet the moment. And in some places, it actually takes us backwards. So I want to zero in on two schedules that I'm hoping the government members will improve this bill at committee. First of all, Schedule 4, development charges. Why don't we just get rid of development charges on first-time home buyers, homes under 2,000 square feet, built within existing urban boundaries, so we can actually start building homes people can afford in the communities they know and love without paving over our farmland, and can save people up to $140,000 on a new home. Now, we need to keep municipalities whole, but the government could do that with an Affordable Communities Fund, just like the province used to do prior to 1989 when development charges were brought in. How would you fund it? I wouldn't hand $200 checks to people. I wouldn't. Like, why do millionaires and billionaires need $200 checks? $3.2 billion right there, Speaker. We have...
Order. Order, please. From the member of Niagara West. Order, please. Please continue for the member of Guelph.
Give the member these other important suggestions. So let me do another one for the member. Not only can we save homeowners $140,000 up to, we can also help them save on their energy costs if we actually have green building standards. That's exactly why the Premier, when he was a city councillor, voted for green development standards, because he knew it would save residents money. So when this bill goes to committee, I encourage the government to help people save money as new home buyers and to save money as existing home buyers. And listen to my suggestions.
Questions. I recognize the member from Essex.
If we took the offer from the leader of the Green Party, if we took him up on his suggestion and got rid of all development charges, or only the development charges which were suggested by the leader of the Green Party, one would assume that would add up to several $1 billion. I don't know if anybody's done the calculation, maybe a few million, but that's the question I have. Has a calculation been done which would estimate the amount of money needed to replace the loss of those development charges which were suggested by the leader of the Green Party?
Member for Guelph.
Yes, I appreciate the member's question. It's a great question. So first of all, I only suggested removing development charges on houses under 2,000 square feet built within existing urban boundaries where we already have infrastructure in place, because that's the fastest and cheapest way we can quickly increase supply. Estimated cost of that, if you would actually listen to me, I'm going to give you the number, okay? Okay. Estimated cost of that, you need it, Mike? Okay.
Order, please.
$4 billion a year. Okay, $4 billion a year to help first-time home buyers save up to $140,000 on their home. We used to do this in Ontario prior to 1989. The $200 checks for millionaires and billionaires cost $3.2 billion alone. The license sticker gimmick is costing us about $1.5 to $2 billion a year. We have money.
Response?
We can help save people money on their homes if we have the political will to do it, Speaker.
Question? I recognize the member for Nickel Belt.
So the government had their own housing affordability task force that recommended legalizing missing middle house options, such as semis, townhouse, and fourplex. Does the member think that this is something that should be included into this bill as of right?
Member for Guelph.
The member for Nickel Belt. So I don't think there's any member who's talked more about legalizing fourplexes and 4 stories than the member from Guelph in this entire chamber over the last number of years. And on top of that, I would say the Housing Task Force also recommended legalizing 6 to 11-story multi-residential buildings along major transit and transportation corridors in larger urban centers. Developers have told me that would cut their development times in half. That is the fastest and cheapest way to quickly build homes people can afford. But for whatever reason, the government keeps saying no to their own task force, Speaker.
Question? The member for Beaches, East York.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your passion to the member of Guelph, who mentions fourplexes the most in the chamber. How illogical do you think it is to kill the green development standards in 2025 in a climate emergency?
The minister, the member for Guelph.
You want to make me a minister speaker? I'm happy to take that job on. But for tonight, I'm not so honorable. So, yeah, I know. No, I'm going to run out of time, and I want the member from Kitchener-Conestoga to be able to ask a question. So I just want to say that the key reason I talk about this is it is going to save people money and reduce climate pollution at the same time. Win-win for everyone.
The Minister of Natural Resources.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And it's great to take part in debate tonight. And listen, I am all for figuring out a way to make life easier for Ontarians, figuring out a way so that we can help our developers build homes. But I will ask this. The region of Waterloo is sitting on $200 million of development charges that they say are allocated, but I have not seen a transparent allocation. What do you have to say about that?
The member for Guelph.
Yeah, I appreciate the question from the member who represents a riding in the region of Waterloo. I would recommend that he do what I do with my region. I call the city up and I get answers to my questions about that. Now, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'll call them for the member, if that helps. But I will tell you this. Municipalities have development charges in place to pay for the things to unlock housing. Water and wastewater, road, sewer, fire. Well, then you're going to have to pick up the phone and call Waterloo, because in Guelph, I actually just call the...
Further debate. I recognize the Solicitor General.